Good morning, everyone, or good evening. I know it's different times in different parts of the world. Welcome to our third International Student Orientation session, Virtual Learning at UTD. My name is Katie Russo. I am the Assistant Director of Intercultural Programs here at UT Dallas. And just some logistics, you can see and hear us, but we cannot see or hear you, so that shouldn't be a problem. You can ask questions in the comment box on the right side of your screen. The Q&A is turned off right now, but we will open it towards the end of the presentation, so that way you can save all your questions for the end because it might be answered beforehand. Closed captioning is available, so look for the CC button on the bottom right of your screen. You should be able to see that, and there's several different languages that you can translate those captions into. So just if you need a little extra language support. Flower, can you go to the next slide, please? Excellent. Well, before I introduce our presenters, I just wanted to share with you a little bit about this session. So of course, we're going to have Mary Beth Goodrich from the Jindal School of Management and Sham Kara from Engineering and Computer Science to present all about the resources that are available here at UT Dallas. Some of you might want to know a little bit more about virtual information at UT Dallas. If you complete our International Student Orientation modules on e-learning, then we do have some more information. We talk a little bit about some of the programs and platforms that are available to students and where can you find that information. So I'll post our International Student Orientation webpage in the chat box so you can link to it, and it gives instructions on how to access those orientation modules, so then you can complete them and get a little bit more information about the virtual resources here at UT Dallas. However, without further ado, I will introduce Mary Beth Goodrich. Mary Beth, you can take it away.
Okay, Flower, if you can move to the next slide, please. A big hello to all of you, or I'd like to say a Texas howdy. My name is Mary Beth Goodrich, and I'm excited that you're deciding to embark on your education here at UTD. If you can move to the next slide, please, Flower. A little bit about myself. I have been on the accounting faculty, so I'm part of JSOM. If some of you are joining us in Jindal School of Management, I've been here for 18 years. I am a CPA and have some other designations that are related to the accounting field. I also have authored a book on SAP configuration, and you might see me around as the Ascend faculty advisor. I'm also the ICF faculty advisor, which is a university-wide one, the International Christian Fellowship. I'm on the Senate as well, and I lead a conversation hour at my church. I lived in China for 2.5 years, so I know that moving to a different country can be a challenge. And so I'm hoping that I can share a little bit about what I did to make my transition to China with you guys, and also to encourage you that you have made a really, really great choice. I've been married for 25 years. I know that sounds like a long time. We have 3 sons. My first son has now started into college, and I've got a high schooler and a middle schooler. So I'm busy at home as well as at school. Can you move to the next slide, please? But a couple of things I wanted to share with you is you have made a really great choice. You have made an investment in yourself by deciding to study in a new country. And I think this says a lot about you and your character, that you're willing to take risks and you're willing to do something that most people are not willing to do. And that is taking on this opportunity to study in a new country. Now, you've also made a great selection in coming to Dallas, Texas. Dallas is a great city. The cost of living's pretty low compared to the rest of the United States, and Dallas has made it in top job locations. So getting jobs in Dallas, it's a great area if you're wanting to stay here long term. Lots of great jobs across all the different areas that you might be studying in at UTD. Also, one thing I love about UTD is the great community that we have here. We have over 100 different countries represented in our student body and also our faculty. And so you'll be able to find people from all over the world that you hopefully can have as your friends while you're studying here. There are many resources available to you, and although I'm talking a little bit more specifically about some of the resources that are available to you as a JSOM student, a lot of these are also not necessarily specific to JSOM. But the main thing I wanted to share is what you make of your time here at UTD is up to you. And whether you're studying for a 4-year degree or a 2-year degree or your PhD, one thing that I've found is your time goes faster than you expect. So you want to embrace and take those opportunities from the second that you get here. And even if you're having to study remotely from your country of origin, I want to encourage you to don't let that hold you back from taking full advantage of the opportunities that you have available to you. If you can move on to the next slide, please, Flower. So a couple of things that I know about international students. Obviously, you're willing to take risks. You're willing to come over here. You might have had to convince your parents that this was a good idea because they may be a little bit more apprehensive about it than you are. I know that international students want to make good grades and want to have as many opportunities available to them. I've been very surprised and actually encouraged by how many students from these sessions will reach out to me on LinkedIn. And I would encourage you at the end of this, my LinkedIn details will be provided. LinkedIn with me and start those connections now. I would encourage you to do that. I know international students want to land a job or internships, and so I've got a few things in here that will help you with getting yourself on the road to that. And I know most importantly, international students want to be successful. So you can move on to the next slide, Flower. So what are some of the ways to do that? Now, this might go against the way that you might see things, but don't just look at grades. Just because you have all A's doesn't mean that you're being successful in all the different aspects of your time here. Look at the total picture. Are you meeting people? Are you giving back to the UTD community? Are you part of organizations? Are you assimilating into the culture? Are you enjoying time going out to places like the Dallas Arboretum or other locations and getting to know about your new city and about your new life here? So I really encourage you to assimilate into the culture, find ways to connect with people from backgrounds different than your own. It might be nice also to have some organizations that allow you to be part of your own culture. Some of the great ones here, the Indian Students Association, we have Chinese Students and Scholars Associations, and many different ones that are maybe related to your background. But I also encourage you to go into other ones. Maybe you enjoy swimming, so you get into a club that does swimming, or you enjoy soccer or other sports. I encourage you to do that. Maybe you love music, get into something so that you can meet people from other cultures as well. And I also encourage you to work on your soft skills. What does that even mean? Talking, chatting, meeting people, building rapport, building your networking. Those are some of the things that I've found students that are successful, both international as well as all students, really try to work on their soft skills development. Look around and take advantage, but also be grateful. So if someone helps you, if a professor helps you, or if another student helps you with something, be thankful for that. And I encourage you also to build meaningful relationships. There are many opportunities for you to do that, even through International Christian Fellowship. You can become partner with an American family. Another area that I found that international students do really well with is giving back. Offer to volunteer your time with your program manager to help out with something. And you'll be surprised that a lot of times when you're giving back, people see that and they see your giving nature, and that will help them to see, wow, this is someone I might want to hire for an interview. That actually happened to one of my students. She was giving back at a conference and someone approached her and she ended up getting a job from that, just giving back and volunteering her time. and also explore and have fun. I think the you can get your master's degree in your home country, but you've decided to do something different. So make sure you take full advantage. Don't just always have your face in the books worrying about studying. Explore and have fun and say yes to opportunities to learn more about the culture. You can move on to the next slide, Flower. So a little bit about JSOM resources. Now, JSOM has its own career management center, and this is also something, regardless of which area you're going to be studying in at UTD, I do encourage you to either work with our university-wide career center or the JSOM Career Management Center. And one of the first things that you want to do is get on a program, and I think I'm going to talk about this in a little bit later too. Write this down. You want to get on our handshake system. As an international student, your best opportunity to start working now is if you do it on campus. There are some limitations to your ability to do internships until you've been here for 2 long semesters, but you are able to work on campus in various areas on campus. And so getting on Handshake, you'll be able to find out about those opportunities if that's something that you're interested in. Also, our program directors are a great resource, and I would say that's across not just JSOM, but any of your areas. Your program director is there for you. Reach out to your program director for any guidance that you have. Our JSOM advising is on the 2nd floor, so some of you might get very close to your advisors on the 2nd floor as well, and I encourage you to see them at least once a semester just to kind of make sure you're on track. Another area that the Jindal School of Management has is the Business Communication Center. So I mentioned that you want to really work on your soft skills. The Business Communication Center can help you with presentations, with your written pieces, with even how the APA format of citing references is done. So the Business Communication Center is a place it would be great for you to visit as well. I also encourage you to look into clubs and organizations both within your major and also maybe some things that are outside of your course of study that might be something fun for you so that you can build your network both within your career area as well as just your personal interests. Also, there are e-learning training modules, and I'll talk a little bit about success in virtual classes. I found that this makes a huge difference if you are spending a little extra time to make those connections in your virtual classes. I know some of you might have to study virtually, won't be in the classroom in the spring. So I've got a few tips for that that we'll be talking about. And then my JSOM app, this is something that you'll want to download, and then you can find out where your class locations are and other information, your professor's contact information and whatnot. Another area that I would encourage all students to get into, even now while you're in your home countries, is LinkedIn. It's not too early to start on LinkedIn, get your profile started, and then the JSOM area actually has its own like internal networking area called Jindal Connect, and you can actually connect with alumni within your course of study, and they can be mentors to you. So all of these are some great resources that I would encourage you to tap into. You can move on to the next slide, Flower. So one important thing that I would share with you is you can't get what you want until you know what you want. And this is kind of an old jazz song. You can look it up and listen to it later, but I would say a lot of students that are international have a very good idea of what they want to do for their career direction, but not all of them do. And not all students, sometimes you get here and you change your mind, like I thought I was going to like this, but now I kind of like this area better. So make that a priority. Where do you want to go? What kind of jobs are you looking for? And make that a priority by going to the Career Management Center. We also have at the larger Career Center aptitude tests, which you can take for free if you're a student here at UTD, and research the different jobs that are available. Maybe that's reaching out to an alumni that has a job that you think you like, but this is a main area that you want to spend time on is really thinking about your purpose and what kind of jobs you're mostly interested in. And that should drive the types of courses that you take and really everything that you do, maybe the organizations you become a part of and everything that you do so that you can meet that end result of what you're looking for. You can move to the next one. So I kind of mentioned this on the slide before, know where you want to go before your last semester. And your last semester will be here, I'm telling you, way sooner than you expect that it will be. The time goes by very, very quickly. Even this semester, I was writing out my notes for the students, and I can't believe we're already in the 12th week of the semester, which means there's only about 4 more weeks and we're done. This semester whizzed by, and if you're not taking full advantage from the minute that you start the semester, you're going to be behind. So use your school resources. And one of the most important things for every student is register with Handshake. That will allow you to find out about different virtual meetings that are happening on campus, as well as hopefully those will be in-person ones coming up in future semesters. But it also mentions about jobs that are on campus and other internships. So getting out there, getting your resume posted is one of the most important things for you to do right now, even as you're, embarking on this journey. You can move to the next slide, please. So the Career Management Center, here's the link for the Jindal Career Management Center. Remember that you have made a big investment, not just you are making this investment, but your family's making a sacrifice to have you here. This is about you and what you really want to do. So I encourage you to really look in and invest your time in finding out what it is that you're wanting to do and finding out about jobs in that area. Go to information sessions. A kind of interesting thing, a lot of the information system sessions this semester and probably in the spring will be remote. Make sure you have a web camera. Make sure you ask questions. Those are the types of things that will differentiate you and allow you to stand out when there's 50 students on an information session. Be prepared, research the company. And if it's a company you're really passionate about, make sure you have a question or two prepared so that you can really shine through when you're going in and meeting people. You can move to the next slide, please. So here are a couple of people that you might get to meet in the Career Management Center. Jason Cirillo is a career development specialist, as well as Neil Johnson and Royce Jones. They all are people that you can work with, and they help with career coaching, resume guidelines, helping you with your cover letter, interview strategies, LinkedIn, and networking. And they have a lot of great types of sessions that you can tap into to work with all of these different areas. But in addition to that, you can set up one-on-one meetings with people in the Career Management Center. And so I would encourage you to go and look at their website and do that as well. You can move to the next slide, please. So another thing that I would encourage you is most of our graduate students in JSOM will take a course called MAS 6102, which is the professional development course. Or if you're an accounting major, you have that option to also, instead of that course, take the Accounting 6388 Accounting Communications course. And in that course, you will have an opportunity to be a consultant doing an accounting related pro bono project. But in either of these courses, you also will work on your personal branding, which includes LinkedIn and how to network, your resume and cover letter, interview strategies and whatnot, getting LinkedIn and getting your Handshake profile put together. So these are great courses, and I encourage you to take these in your first semester so that you can really get your branding started on the right foot. Next one, please. So I mentioned this before, that you want to really get to know your program directors and the advisors. So right here is a link that you can use to meet your find out who your program director is and your academic advisors. And again, they're part of your team while you're here. So I encourage you to look into meeting them and reaching out to them. Next slide, please. So I talked about the Business Communication Center. I love working with the Business Communication Center, and Elizabeth Bruce, Erin Cummings, and Sarah Moore are some of the team over there. Elizabeth has worked with students and has a heart for helping international students, and she helps with presentations, with written pieces, APA format. Erin Cummings usually has several sessions also just on small talk and what you would what kind of like just meeting people at the water cooler at your company. And so he does a lot of different sessions that you can come to just on small talk or even accent reduction. And so these are great opportunities for you to work on, as I mentioned before, those soft skills, which are so important. You can move to the next slide. So this is how you book a BCC WebEx appointment, or you can just remember bcc.utdallas.edu, and you can go into and see some of the resources that are available. But I mentioned some of these before. They can help you with proposals, case studies, APA citing, which is one of the citing methods for your references. They can help you with paraphrasing and making sure that you do that. Now, APA citing and paraphrasing is maybe different than how you did it in your home country. So I would encourage you to spend time on this if your professors are requiring this, because this is an area that I see a lot of students are not doing correctly, and you don't want to lose valuable points on your assignments by not knowing how to do this. There's also English as a second language, small talk, accent training, and other types of workshops that the BCC can help you with. So they are part of your team as well if you're part of the Jindal School of Management. You can move on to the next slide, please. So again, spoken English for professionals, business writing workshop, pronunciation, accent training. You can email Aaron and he can let you know what is coming up in spring. And even if you're not here in spring, if you're remote in the spring 2021 semester, I believe that there will be a lot of online options for you as well. Next slide, please. So one of the most important things is finding your people. So this is the Jindal School of Management student resources. And if you look around, there are many different organizations that you can be part of. You can move to the next slide, please, Flower. So this right here is Ascend. And Ascend is the Pan-Asian Leaders in Business. And so you can see there's other organizations here, Analytics on In-Memory Databases, American Marketing Association, Association for Information Systems, Student Chapter, Association for Latino Professionals for America Alpha, Beta Alpha Psi is another accounting related one. So you can see actually in JSOM, I think we have about 30 to 40 organizations. It's a lot. And every one of your areas that you're in will have a lot of different organizations that you can be a part of. So I encourage you to look into those. Next slide, please. So another part I kind of talked about with your virtual courses is I encourage you to learn as much as you can about our e-learning platform, and there's actually some tutorials here at this URL that you can use to kind of get to know a little bit about e-learning. A lot of your courses will be conducted next semester on Microsoft Teams, if not all of them will have that component. And my encouragement is with team projects, make sure that you're doing your part, let your team know your availability. You want to log in daily to e-learning. If you're in an online course, ask questions, speak out, be active, let me know that you're there and actively participate. Push yourself. If you're someone who's shy, typically maybe prepare ahead of time a question or two, or, you know, kind of look over what your professor's covering, read over those chapters, and most importantly, have fun when you're working in your classes. Now, I know that a lot of you might have difficulty being on the classes at the actual class time. I encourage you, if it's at all possible, to be on your class at that time. If you are going to be remote, I encourage you to do so. I've actually seen the students that are in class at that class time have about a letter grade higher than students that are asynchronously attending the course. Now, obviously, a lot of my asynchronous students aren't listening to the lectures as timely as they should, and I'm not able to watch that. So if you are not able to attend class, make sure you're keeping up with your lectures and listening to them. It makes a huge difference in your success in the courses. Next slide, please. So again, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm also on Jindal Connect, and I would encourage you to register for both of those, especially if you're a JSOM student, get on Jindal Connect, but all students, please get on LinkedIn. Next one. This is our My JSOM app. If you're able to swipe that, you can get on our My JSOM app now and start looking around. Next. So let the adventure begin. I don't know if you know who this is, but this is our mascot, T-Mock, and sometimes you'll see him on campus. T-Mock is Comet spelled backward, and he's a lot of fun. A lot of you will end up taking graduation pictures with him, and so be looking for T-Mock when you're here. And again, I really am excited that you've decided to become part of the UTD family, and you can move on to the next slide. So thank you and welcome to the UTD family. And please let me know if there's anything that I can do to help you be more successful. I even have WeChat. So if you want to connect with me on WeChat or LinkedIn, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have as you embark on this new part and chapter of your lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Beth. So now we have another UTD staff member, Sham Kara, who's going to talk to you a little bit about the resources in computer science.
Thank you. Thank you, Mary Beth. You had a wonderful session talking to the students about tips for the international students, how they can adjust and be successful here on campus. You have covered most of the things they should do, and it's amazing that students will be so excited when they come here on campus to find such friendly faculty and staff. Okay, so my name is Shyam Kera. Let's go to the next slide, please. My name is Shyam Kera. I'm Director of Graduate Student Services in the Computer Science Department. I'm in UTD for over 20 years. So I have seen the growth at UTD in terms of the numbers, most importantly, in terms of research and jumping in the rankings over the last 20 years. Next slide, please. So we believe in excellence in teaching and learning. So even though we are going through these tough times of the pandemic time, wherein we are all remotely learning, yet we still strive and continue to excel in teaching and learning. That's our bread and butter. And to basically support this excellence in teaching and learning, we have lots of resources available for you, for all these students. The syllabus, you can go ahead well in advance, even before you start your classes. You can go online on the course book and check out the syllabus. And every class you basically attend will have PowerPoint slides with recordings, so that if it's an asynchronous class, those recordings will be available in advance. There will be slideshows and videos available for each and every class. The synchronous class will have more interaction. Like my colleague Mary Beth said, that try to encourage you to attend those synchronous classes and try to attend those classes in person, even if it is remote or virtual. What I've noticed when I'm teaching my classes in the computer science, that I see students have this opportunity to ask questions. Now, most of the times you'll find that students are sometimes sitting on the back benches, don't ask any questions. However, in this asynchronous or synchronous learning, especially when you're able to attend the classes online, you have this opportunity to ask questions. Now, I always encourage students to participate in the classroom discussions. So these intellectual discussions help you to be successful in class, more importantly, even in your career. Now, let's look at this example. I always have students asking me, how do I get into the PhD program? First thing I tell them, how many faculty members you have researched on their on the website, at the ECS website, and how many of them have you talked to? So if you are interested to go in for a PhD, the first thing you should do is that try to identify the areas of your interest, and then look for the professors who are working in that area, and then try to identify what kind of papers they have published. Read those papers. And when you have this opportunity to be in their classes, ask intellectual questions in classroom, outside the classroom. Now, many of the master students are interested to go for a PhD because they think out of the box. And that's something which basically I encourage that most of you should think about it to applying to the PhD program, especially if you have research interest. Now, the great place to start is right in the classroom. Engage the professor, and what happens is that's where you get a good, strong letters of recommendation. Now, to apply to the PhD program, to be I would say a strong applicant in the PhD program, you have to have very important, a good, strong undergraduate foundation. In any area, you could be in mechanical engineering, you could be in computer science, or you could be in electrical engineering or bioengineering. So have a strong foundation, and very important, you need a good essay. The essay will come from, again, your interest and the professors you discuss with. That leads you to a good essay. And you also need a strong letters of recommendation from the professor. So start those things right in the classroom. Now the professors are available outside the classroom by appointment. They also have office hours virtually on MS Teams, just like what we are doing today. The only difference would be is that you will be able to see them and the professor will be able to see you and talk to you. And take those, all those help, assistance, what you need for the classes you are enrolled in. The TAs are also available. So the TA hours are posted on the syllabus and you can access them during their office hours or set up an appointment outside the office hours. Next slide, please. Now, we all want to have you're all looking for some good internship opportunities and also basically looking for good job opportunities. Now, just like JSOM has a good career center and the ECS, Engineering and Computer Science, also has a IPP office. We call it as Johnson School Industrial Practice Program that helps the students with, again, getting up ready with the resources of building up the resume, critiquing, interviewing skills. All those opportunities are available in the Johnson School IPP office. Now we have these recruiting resources in fall and spring. We have a special intern fairs. Just for internship opportunities, there is a fall and spring intern fairs. And there is also a career expose. both in the fall semester and in the spring semester. Like my colleague Mary Beth was talking about the Handshake job portal, we encourage you to go ahead and sign up for the Handshake job portal so that you can look for jobs both which are internal and also from companies. Uh, uh, next slide, please. Now, we also encourage all of you to join the student organizations. There are wealth of opportunities. You have resources at the student organizations. If you are in a mechanical engineering department, you can join the American Society of Mechanical Engineers. If you are in the computer science graduate student, we have a strong ACM student organization. Under the ACM student organization, there are almost about more than a dozen other student chapters, like AI Society. You're talking about data science club. So there are several of under each of these student organizations. If you're a biomedical engineering student, there's a biomedical engineering society. IEEE is very strong on campus. There's also a society for women engineers. If you're a computer science student, especially for women who compute, you could join that. Now, Women Who Compute also organizes every year, basically a trip to Grace Hopper Conference, and we support the students who can go to the Grace Hopper Conference and visit with all those tech companies. So I'm not sure how many of you know about Grace Hopper Conference. That's held annually, and almost about 15 to 20,000 women tech engineers and computer scientists attend this conference, and we basically support a group of about 20 to 30 students to go to the conference and visit with these top companies. And all the top companies, you name them, are there at the conference. Next slide, please. There's also a graduate student assembly. So there's a graduate student organization campus-wide, and we have a representative from the ECS, Engineering and Computer Science. They allow you to basically gives an opportunity for graduate students to represent and address any key issues which graduate students are facing on campus, and that can be directly carried over to the UTD leadership team. Next slide, please. Now, if you are a computer science student, I can also talk about a little bit about it. The common questions which students have is, when do we select degree plans? The degree plans basically are, you can choose them at the time of orientation and registration. Can I choose any degree plan? Of course. You can choose any of those degree plans in the graduate computer science program. You can be in the data science or in intelligence systems or systems track. You can choose any of those degree plans. And in case you want to change the degree plan in the following semester, you are welcome to change the degree plan. One of the common questions I get from students is that, is there a limit on number of students that can choose a particular degree plan? No, you are welcome to choose any of those degree plans, and you can also change the degree plan in the following semester. Another question commonly I receive from graduate computer science students is that, I have been given several prerequisites. Do I need to complete all the prerequisites? The prerequisites are basically given to students who have a deficiency of certain courses. Now, however, a student must complete only those courses which are basically a prerequisites in the degree plan you choose. So if you have chosen a particular degree plan, there are several prerequisites. You need to complete only those which are for that particular degree plan. However, if you change the degree plan, the other prerequisites may apply. Now, we had a few early webinars sometime early in October. One we had it last week. There may be a few more webinars organized by the computer science department in the month of November and December. And sure, we will keep you posted in case the dates are finalized. We'll email you the links to the webinar. Next slide, please. The ECS school in the computer science department has one of the largest outreach program in the nation. We conduct almost over 200 plus summer camps every year. The outreach basically community conducts some coding competitions for high schools, for our own students. Very important is that there is a lunchtime talks every semester at the beginning of the semester. Now these lunchtime talks are taught by industry professionals. Many times it's the faculty and also experienced graduate students. I encourage that you should attend as many as you can as possible those lunchtime talks. Now, one of the advantage what you have when you attend those lunchtime talks is that you will have this opportunity to connect, network with the industry professionals. So if you are able to, you know about a certain company coming in and doing a lunchtime talk, and you are able to basically do some research about that person who's going to come and present on a particular current trend in the technology or a new software, you may be able to engage with that industry professional in intellectual discussions. And certainly, who knows, that can land up with an interview opportunity. So I encourage you to attend as many lunchtime talks. One, for gaining knowledge, technical knowledge. Two is networking. So it's a great networking opportunity. Many of these lunchtime talks are basically conducted by our alumni. We have ECS has a strong alumni connect. So the alumni come back on campus and conduct some of these lunchtime talks. So I encourage you to network with industry professionals and also with our alumni. Next slide, please. The computer science department also has a student organization called Graduates of Computer Science. That's a student body composed of graduate students, and we organize various events for the graduate students. And you are welcome to reach out to the GCS and ask them any query you may have. They can be, some of those GCS officers can be mentors for you, help you in being successful in college, and also finding jobs or connecting with the alumni. So please check out the Facebook of our GCS office. Next slide, please. So for more information, please visit engineering.utdallas.edu, and you can basically check out the program you're enrolled in. Could be mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, bioengineering, or computer science. And all those advisors are listed at that engineering.utdallas.edu. Next slide, please. Thank you, guys. And you are welcome to ask any questions. And my colleague, Mary Beth, and myself will be happy to answer your questions.
Thank you, Sham. So yes, we appreciate your help, Mary Beth and Sham, and the question box is now open. So if you see the two little conversation bubbles on the top of your screen, you can add any questions. I think we've also been putting some links in there for you to review, ones that Mary Beth and Sham discussed. Tomorrow, do we have any questions yet?
Not as yet, Katie.
No questions. Let's see what we've got. Well, while we wait for you all to put in questions, I have a question for the both of you. What should a student who is studying virtually do make sure they're doing in order to be successful? So Mary Beth, I know that you already talked about, taking those asynchronous classes and how the students who log in, I guess, what is like one piece of advice to just ensure that those students will be doing well in their classes?
Well, one piece of advice I think is if you are going to have to be an asynchronous student, and I totally understand because I have some students this semester that are in that they're kind of in that situation. One of them's in a country where they just cannot seem to get on. They're having difficulty on getting in Microsoft Teams, and they've tried their best to be there. But what that student has done is, as she's reached out to me a few times in the semester and we've talked, we weren't able to use Microsoft Teams, but we've talked on Zoom we've found other ways to kind of stay in touch. So I would just let your professor know if you're in that situation where you have to be asynchronous, find a way to maybe reach out to your professor and let them know that, and maybe find a couple of times in the semester where you can touch in and just see how you're doing. And I did with that student try to kind of let them know, because I was concerned because this was a communications class, that I would be available at the times that would be convenient for her. And so she's done really well as a result, and she has committed to listen to all the lectures on her own time. But those would be the things that I would recommend. If for some reason you can't be in the class at that synchronous time, make an effort to build a relationship with your professor so that they know that you are engaged and that you are learning, and then reach out if there are questions you have from the lectures and whatnot. And I think that will help to differentiate yourself, and then also to help you be successful.
Yeah, I tell my students in the class is that very important is from day one. Once the syllabus is online, read the syllabus, know about what you're going to expect this semester. And the syllabus has the details about how I am going to cover the material for the whole semester. And they should be probably preparing, read ahead. And once that the videos come up, it becomes much easier for them to learn and understand, and also take down any questions they may have. Like my colleague Mary Beth said, that the student should basically set up an appointment on MS Teams at a convenient time and ask questions. Now, not only if the professor is busy, they can set up an appointment even with the TA. There's a TA for each course. So take all the resources what's available on campus, make use of them to be successful.
Thank you both. Do we have any questions?
Yes, we actually do have quite a bit that came in while Mary Beth and Sham were explaining everything to us. The first question that is here says, how are lunchtime tech talks going to be conducted in spring 2021? Will these be online?
Yes, that's a wonderful question. I'm glad that I was able to reel in something, right? My fishing, it worked. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. So you are engaged, you are connected, you are listening to us, what we are saying. So lunchtime tech talks is basically conducted by the industry professionals, by our faculty. So this will be all online. You will have a link online, and anybody who's on campus can click onto those links and attend those lunchtime tech talks, and know about the people who are coming on campus and and addressing and discussing the latest technologies or softwares, cutting edge softwares. So yes, you have this opportunity. It's online. Just click on the link, and just like you have joined this morning session, you will be right there. So one advantage, what we have noticed with this, thanks to this remote learning and virtual learning, that the MS Teams, we are able to use these resources very well, and that allows a student to be anywhere in the world to join these tech talks and get the best out of it.
Okay, great. And yes, y'all did such a really great job of explaining the programs and services and resources that JSOM has to offer. So I can see the students are very excited and they want to, join in and be a part of all that they can. Okay, there is another question. It actually says, well, that's kind of more of a general question, but it says, can someone assist us to select courses for the spring semester? This question was posted several times, but I would say that kind of depends on, I'm not sure what program this person will be in. I'm not sure if they're going to be in the JSOM program, but let us say that they will be in the JSOM program. Either Mary Beth or Sham, would you like to respond to that?
What I would say that let Mary Beth talk about how they can enroll in the JSOM, and I will talk about how, if a student is ECS, how they can enroll in classes.
Okay, well, thanks, Sham. I'm as far as JSOM, the number one person I would reach out to is your program manager. And I would say this in any of your disciplines, if you're not in computer science, probably the first start is your program manager. Talk with them, find out what courses. A lot of times when you're first starting in your degree plan, it is somewhat of a set amount of courses. So they might be able to give you an idea of that. So I would just start there, and they should be able to help you with those first courses that you're going to get into. And Shyam, if you want to share about computer science.
Sure, I'll share about ECS, engineering and computer science, for any of
ECS,
you.
yeah.
ECS. So in ECS, if you are trying to enroll in classes for spring semester, your first stop to get information about our advising will be your graduate advisors. So connect with your graduate advisors. They can tell you what courses will be right for you in the first semester. For generally what will happen for the spring 21 students, we will have a new graduate student orientation that the dates will be announced by each program. Mechanical engineering has a set date for the orientation. The computer science has a set date. So connect with your advisors to find out when the new student orientation is going to be. And at that point, you will have at the orientation the details of the program, the policies and procedures of the program, and the graduate advisors will enroll you in classes for spring.
Okay, great. And we have another question. This actually is in regards to the presentation, the PowerPoint presentation that we just showed. It says, can we get all of the slides? I'm not sure, Katie, how would you want to take care if someone is asking for the slides, maybe?
We don't publish the slides, but we will have this video posted on our YouTube page. So you can actually find the link to the Spring 2021 orientation videos on our International Student Orientation webpage. And so sometime this afternoon, once I'm able to download and upload the video, that will be posted. So you can watch the video as many times as you need to in order to get that information that you're looking for on the slides.
Okay. All right, next question. It says, where can I find the electives for computer science?
Okay, so the elective courses are, if you choose a particular degree plan, suppose you are in data science degree plan, each degree plan has set of core courses. The electives are left free. So you can choose courses from other degree plans, and you can use them as an elective in the degree plan chosen. So that makes your degree plan very flexible. You may have chosen a degree plan in intelligence systems, yet you can take information assurance courses and use them as your electives.
Okay. Okay. And next question, it says, can JSOM students attend lunchtime tech talks? Would Sham or Mayor Beth or Sham, would you like to?
Oh, sure. Those links are available. Anybody can attend those lunchtime tech talks. Yeah, even we have it in person. The students just come in, sign up, and they attend those tech talks. So anybody is welcome to attend the tech talks.
Okay, great news. Okay, next question. This is very interesting. It says, which are the 3 Johnson School internship coordinators?
They had a new one. I know Mary Ann Stewart, Mr. Jerry Alexander, and there's I don't remember the name. Some person. We had a recent new staff member joining the IPP office. But however, if you go on to the ECS website, click on Johnson School IPP, Industrial Practice Program, you'll have the details of all those advisors in the office and their office hours. You can connect with them and ask them questions.
Okay, so everyone, hopefully you were taking note of that. Sham said to go to Johnson School IPP. If you search in the UT Dallas website, it has a very great search feature that is Johnson School IPP. Okay, there is another question here. This question is more about handshake. It says, I'm trying to find questions that pertain to either JSOM or ECS. I don't think we have any more in here, but here's a question that maybe either of you would like to answer. It says, well, this is a job question too. It says, what is the situation with on-campus jobs as the classes are going to be online or hybrid mode? So maybe I can speak a little bit to that. So on-campus jobs, there are still openings for some offices or departments or divisions. Yes, definitely. The openings might not be as much as they would be typically if we were to be in person. So it definitely Handshake is the place to go to see what openings are there. And someone else was asking about Handshake, how to get onto Handshake. I believe you have to have a verified like UT Dallas email address to be able to, to apply for jobs, because Handshakes they're jobs for UT Dallas students. So yes, and I think I just published a question with the link to Handshake, so you can go onto the website. It's managed by the University Career Center to get more information for Handshake. Okay, we actually do have some more questions, and I know that we're running up on time, so I'll try to get to them quickly. This question says, it's a CS question. Can I take core courses, other tracks as electives? I'm not quite sure what that means.
Yeah, I think I got it. No, you have to have the coding brain, so I got that. So I can decode the question. So sure, if you are in the, like I said, if you are in a systems track, you can take data science courses, core courses, big data or machine learning or AI or NLP, and use it as an elective in the systems track degree plan.
Okay, great. Well, that answer was shorter than I thought for how long it would take me to figure out that question. So great job. Thank you, Sham. Here's another ECS question. It says, can ECS students enroll in MAS 6102-PD course for professional development?
If they enroll in it, it doesn't give them any credit in the degree plan. So it'll be it'll be apart from 9 hours they have enrolled in it, they can enroll in the course. Absolutely.
It's a 1-hour course over at JSOM, so if they wanted to enroll in it, they'd just be paying for an extra credit hour, I guess. But you're right, I don't think it counts towards your degree plan.
However, the grades count. If somebody makes an F,
oh yeah, that's
F
true.
will go into the cumulative GPA.
Yeah.
That's important. That's good to know. That's good to know. Well, I think we have come up on time. That is the time that we have. So I will hand it over back to Katie.
Thank you. And I know some of you might not have gotten your questions answered. You can always send us an email. Maybe Mary Beth and Sham, do you want to put the ECS and JSOM emails in the comments? Tomorrow if you'd like to add IC programs as well. So feel free to email any one of us, and if we don't know the answer, we'll direct it to the right person to get your question answered. But thank you so much for attending. As I mentioned, we'll be posting this on our YouTube page, so feel free to review the video or send it to a friend who's also planning to attend UTD. And we hope to see you next week at our FACS, which is the Friendship Association of Chinese Students and Scholars orientation, or we also have our Indian Student Association orientation next Wednesday. So hopefully, well, you will see us there. Thank you so much.